All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our practical leadership online. Okay, so today is actually the fourth episode of our series, The Importance of Balancing Stress and Being Well. So, if you haven't watched our other videos, week one, we talked about how uh, important it is to have health disciplines, all right? And studying and learning about health disciplines, it's actually the discipline of the body to go the distance, all right? So we can only go as far as our body can take us. And if our body is not okay, definitely we will not be able to go where God has called us to go, or where actually just being at work, di ba? Parang we will be bedridden or hospitalized, or maybe just doing your own things in your business, in your personal lives. You won't be able to do it when your body is so bogged down, right? So, episode 2 naman, of course, we talked about spiritual disciplines, and it's a spiritual awakening in disciplines, all right? And it's not just about us. This is what we learned. It's not about us. We are designed for something greater. We are called to do something greater by someone who is so great in our lives, all right? Just giving us the ability to do all the things that we need to do. And episode 3 was about the discipline of the mind. Ito naman yung napakagandang topic talaga. A lot of learnings last week. It's about learning and knowledge. I I remember this quote that says, "The obstacle to progress is not ignorance, but assuming that we know it all." Okay, so in practical leadership online, that's the reason actually that we started this show, because we believe that leaders are practical leaders are lifelong learners. All right, so kaya talagang napakadaming natututunan sa series na to, and especially last week. And if you haven't watched our episode, not last week but 2 weeks ago, be sure to click on our video. I'm sure that you will learn a lot. All right. And today, of course, we are going to talk about our episode 4, which is EQ, which translates to emotional maturity, and how it applies in our lives, the importance of it, not only at work, but even with our personal relationships. All right, how important it is. And we are going to talk about how um, it balances us, and how we believe it's more important than IQ. All right. And of course, Coach Ardy will talk about this, and we will have a great discussion about this. So please do post your comments down below. If you have questions, just post it again. And if you just want to get a shout out from us, just type in your name, and we'll sure to read your comments as well. Okay, so let me invite our co-host, of course, Tristan and Coach Ardy with us this evening.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight at our Practical Leadership Online. And how about you, Coach?
And good evening, everybody. I'm broadcasting from my restaurant at the Keg, which is looking to be my venue for this series or this season of Practical Leadership Online. So I am working while being with you on this journey towards wellness and balancing stress. So kung may narinig kayong mga background noise, mga nagkikwentuhan, nagtatawanan, those are our customers who are joining us while they eat.
Ayun.
So we'd like to welcome everybody, all 7 million viewers that we have and all 2 million likes. Yeah. So welcome everybody to this conversation on emotional maturity or emotional quotient. Yes, back to you, King.
All right. So, thank you, Coach Ardy. So, for now, let's greet muna yung mga viewers natin, our 6 million viewers. So, good evening. So, shout out to Anne Santillan. Good evening to you. And of course, to Jillian, Chico. Shout out, Diane. So, good evening, good evening. And of course, kay our viewer from Cebu, Juan Tampihot. So, shout out to you. Good evening to you as well. All right. So, okay, so do you want to greet anyone, Tristan?
Akin lang pong binapati ang lahat ng aking mga minamahal, ang aking asawa na si Marge. And lahat ng kaibigan ko, lahat ng friends. Okay, thank you so much for supporting us. Okay, and for expanding this practical leadership online. So we hope this adds value to you, especially as we talk about emotional maturity, no? Parang napuzzle ako nung umpisa nung marinig ko yung emotional tsaka pagiging mature. So pakinggan natin si Coach mamaya kung paano pwedeng pagsamahin yung dalawang yan. Yun, Coach.
Ayan.
Ako
Tama.
na ba?
Oo. Okay, so again, if you have questions or you have just questions that you want us to pursue later online, right? Please do comment down below so that we can read it and we can talk about it as well. Right? So before we begin, yeah, good evening, Bob, from Borlagdan. Yeah, good evening po, sir. Hope that you'll be able to stay for our show. And hope
Hmm.
meron na tayong 15 million viewers. Okay? So,
Grabe. Dami.
Actually, medyo na-excite talaga ako dito sa topic na to eh. Kasi yung pag naririnig kong EQ, very interesting. Kasi yung IQ, there is a specific test for that to test your IQ score, your IQ level. Pero yung EQ, may test din ako nakita, pero I feel like it's more of subjective. Kaya parang, how do you actually grow in your emotion? Is it possible ba na mag-grow yung tao sa emotion nila kahit bata pa, teenager, kaya mga 20s, ganun. Parang paano ba yun nasisimulan? Kaya very interesting to, no? King and Coach Ardy. Kaya parang I'm sure yung iba tatanong sila or anong kinalaman ng emotional maturity sa balancing stress and being well. Feeling ko, uh, King, feeling ko lang ano, pwede kang maging pwedeng hindi ikaw mismo yung ma-stress eh. Pero feeling ko yung ibang taong ma-stress kapag hindi balance or pag hindi aware pagdating sa EQ yung tao. So, yun. Just a thought about our topic for tonight.
okay. Tama, tama, tama. And actually, for the past few weeks, no, really, we have been learning about the importance of balancing stress and being well. And naalala ko, I don't know if you remember that, Coach and Tristan, ano, di ba yung topic natin when we first started was really yung stress, it's not necessarily bad, di ba? Ayun yung naalala ko. Of course, kailangan natin ng stress sa buhay natin. It means that we are being stretched. Okay? So, not all stress is bad. But of course, alam naman natin kung ano yung mga stress na kailangan nating i-balance. all right, and how it's not just about working a lot or just resting a lot. It's about striking a balance between those two. All right, so I hope that you can join us in our discussion, and please do tag your friends na alam nyong kailangan itong topic na to, and just share this stream as well. I hope that you will be able to help others. And of course, our heart talaga in putting up this is this podcast or video stream is for others to learn as well. Okay, katulad ng mga natututunan namin because before it's just us five learning learning so much from each other and from coach. But this is a broadcast to anyone, okay? So that they'll be able to learn more as well because yun nga, as practical leaders, we believe that we are all should be lifelong learners, okay? So thank you so much para dun sa mga tao na nag-tag sa mga friends nila and have shared this stream. So I hope that you continue to do so. All right. So without further ado, yeah. Napaka-cliche nung ano natin, ano. Let's welcome again, no? Okay, to speak to us about our topic for today, which is EQ or emotional maturity. Coach, take it away. Ayan, naka-mute.
Ayan. Coach, isa pa. Nakamute ka, coach.
All right, sorry.
Ayan.
Dami kong sinabi. Dami kong sinabi.
Take two.
Wala palang narinig. So, again, I want to greet no, si Mana Tolentino. Sabi niya, Ma'am Roma, ito yung vid na sinabi ko, fave ko, subscribe ka na dito, haha. Sabi naman ni Roma de la Cruz, Mana Tolentino, nice! Thank you! Okay, so I hope Mana and Roma, together with everyone else, of course, Direct Eco is watching us uh, with Weng and Shari Cartera. So we'd like to shout out to these to everybody who's watching. But let me just share with you just very quickly about emotional maturity. And they say that every time I start my talk on leadership, I always remind people that there are only two types of leaders in the world today. There's the mature leader and the immature leader. For immature leaders, they just choose between two options. They choose between good and bad options. When we say good and bad options, typically it's what's good for me, what will help me grow in my career, what will help me advance in my business. And it's really more self centered when you choose just between good and bad options. Oftentimes, when you choose between those two options, the output is mediocre. And when you write down the word mediocre, MEDIOCRE, and you get the first two letters, it spells the word me. I remember reading this one time and it said mediocre work or average work is work that's good enough for me. Because ultimately, we know that there is one person who dictates quality, and that person is your customers, your end user. If you're a parent and you want to provide a quality life for your family, always remember it's not up to us to determine the quality of life that we provide. The one who will determine the quality of life that we provide is our family, our children, our spouse, our extended family. They are the ones who will determine the quality of life and leadership that we provide. That's why the mature leader choose between three options. The three options that they choose from are the good, the better, and the best. Now, it's not that they don't see what's missing or what's lacking, they see that. However, they choose to focus first on what is good. But you know what? They're never content. They want to turn that which is good into something that can be better, turn that which is better into something that can be the best. Not just for themselves, but for the people that work with them, the people that work for them, the family that lives with them. So maturity in terms of leadership is that it's seeing what is good, but you're never content as a leader. You want to turn that into something that can be better, and eventually it can become the best over time. Not overnight, but over time. So having that as the backdrop, let's go now into emotional maturity, or as what we call it, EQ, emotional quotient. And let me share with you through this slide. This is based on Howard Gardner's 8 intelligences. So let me see if I can share this with you. You can see this. There we go. So this now, King, maybe you can just give a shout out if you can see this. Just shout yes, I can see it.
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, all right. So I'm looking at the slide, so I can't see my co-hosts, nor can I see myself on the screen. But let me just go through these 8 intelligence with you. Let's start off from the top right hand, bodily kinesthetic. So these are 8 intelligences according to Howard Gardner, and he says that these 8 intelligences help people learn. So these are things by which you can measure either talent, strength, ability, or learning styles of people. So bodily kinesthetic, we see the half the quadrant on your top right. Body kinesthetic is body smart. That's what they call body smart. Coordinating your mind with your body, or eye hand coordination. So people who are very good with body smart is these are athletes, these are dancers, these are these are people who have, who have a typical groove in them. These are people who are also trainers, physical trainers. They know which muscle group to develop if you're into basketball, or if you're into volleyball, or if you're into football, or if you're into badminton. These are people who understand the body and how it functions and how it works and coordinates with the mind, the eye, the hand. Okay. Then you have musical or musical intelligence, or music smart. Musical intelligence is discerning sound, their pitch, tone, rhythm, and timbre. So these are writers, composers, arrangers, singers. These are DJs, yeah, DJs, because they can tell beat, huh? And then they can move from one song to another without gap. So in other words, they measure the beats per song, and they measure that together with another song, and they transition uh, carefully. A typical example of people who are music smart are Augie Alcacid, who's a batchmate of mine. Some of my batchmates are here now in the restaurant eating, and he's one who's music smart because he can, alam mo yung weirdo, yung he can listen to a tune and then he can just start playing the tune even without notes. That's music smart. He's a singer, songwriter, composer, arranger, multi-awarded. Gary Valenciano is also one who's not just music smart, but he's also body smart. Yan, si Gary, pareho yan. He can sing and he can really dance well. In fact, back in the day, kasama nga niya si Maneuvers, di ba? He would sing and then go back with them and dance with them. Ganun siya. Other people are bodily kinesthetic. Football players like Messi, yeah, in the zone, eye-hand coordination, mind-eye coordination with feet, yeah. Okay, then we go down. Logical, mathematical, or number smart. Quantifying things, making hypotheses, and proving them. So when you talk about logical, mathematical, or number smart, these are people who are very good with rational thinking. They work well with numbers. Pag nakita mo pa lang yung graph sa kanila, alam na nila kung saan may gap, saan may mali, saan ka pwedeng where you can advance. So these are people who are number smart. And then you have interpersonal intelligence, or people smart, is sensing people's feelings and motives. So people smart, these are people who are very good with other people. They can easily talk to other people. They can easily make friends with other people. They're approachable. These people are interpersonal intelligence, or people smart. Then you have intrapersonal. Intrapersonal, excuse me. is understanding yourself, what you feel, and what you believe. In other words, people who know themselves inside out, their strengths, their weaknesses. These are people who are self-smart. Hindi yung magaling mag-selfie, pero self-smart. Kilalang kilala nila ang sarili nila. Excuse me again. So, I hope you're following so far. So, intrapersonal, interpersonal, then let's go linguistic or word smart. People who are gifted with word smart or linguistic intelligence, these are people who are finding the right words to express what you mean. These are people who are very good storytellers, communicators. They know how to say things and take big concepts into bite-sized nuggets that people can actually learn from. These are people who are linguistically intelligent. Then two more. So we take a look at spatial visual intelligence or visualizing the world in 3D. Spatial visual intelligence is picture smart. These are people who can determine space. Yan yung mga architects, engineers, people who work in the warehouse. They know how to put things in order na everything that you need to stock into a storeroom, they can stock it up floor to ceiling, wall to wall with moving space around because they're spatially intelligent. And then you have nature smart or naturalist. Uh, these are people who are understanding living things and reading in nature. Ito yung mga taong they know how to work with nature. Like these are farmers or people in agri. A specific example of this person is my uncle who takes care of our property, sugar in Negros in Bacolod. But at the same time, he also raises fighting cocks. He also breeds dogs. He also breeds sheep or goat for meat, and he has a swine farm. So these people are very good with. They're the agri people, or maybe divers. Yeah, they're naturalists, divers. People who like the inner space. People who are mountain climbers. Yeah, yan yung mga one with nature. They learn by being one with nature. So a few examples, logical, mathematical, Stephen Hawking din, these are people who are really high in terms of their ability to rationalize, rational thinking. Interpersonal, this is probably Richard Branson, uh, owner of Virgin Air. He's a people person. Tim Cook was also known to be someone who's a people person, as compared to Steve Jobs. Tim Cook was really the one who now the CEO of Apple. He's really the one who's very people person, very personable, malapit sa tao. Intrapersonal, ito yung normally mga actors and actors, mga award-winning actors and actresses, they know themselves deeply. Joel Torre is one of them. They're ones who are really deep into roles. Linguistic, these are Barack Obama, the former president of the U.S. Barack Obama was a linguist, or um, our very own President Marcos. He was an eloquent speaker. Yeah, he was a linguist. He knows how to say things, and he commanded uh, respect because of how they spoke. Martin Luther King is another one. Spatial visual intelligence. These are great architects or engineers of the day, and these are people who are. Did you know, incidentally, that spatial visual intelligence? There is one game that increases spatial visual intelligence, and that is the. Sige, let me ask our viewers to guess. I'll stop sharing my screen first. I'll ask our viewers to guess. What is one game that allows you to increase or to improve spatial visual intelligence? Okay, what is one game that allows you to improve spatial visual intelligence? Type it on your box. Come on, Michelle, Weng, Sydney, Weng, Borge, Iko, Roma, Mana. Type it. What do you think? What is a game that increases spatial visual intelligence? I'll give my co-hosts also an opportunity to guess. It's a table game. Well, game or activity. It's a game. I think it's more of an activity rather than a game. Sige nga, can you guess? It's a table game. What do you think? King, any guesses?
Chess.
Chess? Nope. Correct. Pictionary? Nope. Sabi ni Coix, Pictionary. Jillian said chess? Nope. Da-da-da-da. Tristan, would you want to guess?
Scrabble?
Scrabble? Nope. Nope. Table tennis? Nope. Nope.
Hmm.
Lego? No. You're close though.
Sequence?
Eco, direct eco is kind of cold. It's kind of close. Lego, yeah, it's kind of close. Okay. Sabi ni Ann, table tennis, no. Okay. Monopoly, boards, no. Sorry. Jillian, you are correct. Puzzles, yes. Jigsaw puzzles. Jigsaw puzzle
Galing.
increases.
Congrats.
Ha?
Congratulations.
Yan,
Ardy.
Michelle puzzle. Yan, correct. So, congratulations. You win a round of applause. Yay! Palakpakan naman natin mga guys. Palakpakan natin. Okay. Bakit jigsaw puzzles? Kasi, di ba, ang jigsaw puzzles, when you want to put a picture together, walang instruction siya, di ba? Di ba guys, Tristan King, wala siyang instructions eh. You just look at the box cover and that's the picture that you want to put together, right? So that's the overview. And then when you take two pieces and try to put it together with other pieces, that's details. That's the same concept behind spatial visual intelligence. You have to first take a look at the big picture and then you work the details. Then go back again, look at the big picture, work the details again. Go back again, big picture. Ganon ang ganon yun. Palabas-pasok yun. Big picture details. Macro, micro, macro, micro. And there is one guy, ano, guess na naman ha, guess na naman. Zar, kasama ka na dito. Zar de Ramos, good evening to you, kasama ka na dito. Who plays jigsaw puzzles as a pastime? Who? Sikat itong taong to. Sikat itong taong to. Who do you think plays jigsaw puzzles as a pastime? Okay? Tristan, hula. Go. Habang nagtatyping iba.
Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. Mali. Sabi ni Board, Cheryl Ritardo Santos. Is that your guess, Boards? If that's your guess, sorry, no. But if it's a shout out, yeah, it's just, well, we want to shout out to Cheryl Ritardo Santos. So, but no, it's not
One
Elon
more
Musk.
try.
How about you, King?
Sino bang mga chess? Um, si Tim Cook.
Huh?
Alam ko
Who?
na, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs? Nope. Mali na naman.
Si Ico Gonzalez.
Ano ba kayo? Kala ko ba lifelong learners?
Kaya nga we want to know the answer.
Ha?
Kaya we're excited to know the answer.
Let's ask. I won one dinner to keg. Sabi ni Jillian, oh my gosh. Yeah, sure, come over. I'll treat you to dinner. Yeah, come on.
Ay, may premium
For
dinner.
Anthony
Hanapin ko
Jigsaw
na.
Puzzle. Yeah. Okay. No, I'm inviting her to watch. Okay, sorry, Barge. Well, thank you for inviting. Jenga, no, wala na, tapos ka naman na. And we're asking na late ang type ni Mana.
Delete.
Okay, so the person who plays jigsaw puzzles as a pastime is Bill Gates.
Oh, muntik na.
Bill Gates, bunti ka na. King, because you answered Steve Jobs. Bill Gates is the one who people at Microsoft. Microsoft is a client of mine, and I've worked with them. And they were saying that Bill Gates, when you present a project a new project or a new concept to Bill Gates, he will not give you an answer or a decision right away. He will take that. This was when he was still head of Microsoft. He will take that project, he will take that concept, he will take that idea, and he will take a look at it from all perspectives. And then after, when you ask for his decision, he will give his decision. And he may give it after a week, he may give it after 2 days. But when he gives his decision, they say that it is almost unquestionable because he's looked at it from all perspectives. And he learned that discipline from playing jigsaw puzzles. Kasi di ba ganun yung jigsaw puzzles? Sometimes you get one piece and you try to look at, saan ba aabot to? Di ba? You go around the puzzle and they try to fit the piece there. And that's the same way with spatial visual intelligence. Take a look at it from the macro level then the micro level. That's why if you remember, way back at the first logo of Microsoft were four pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. The early days of Microsoft, the logo of Microsoft was four pieces in a jigsaw puzzle because that's who he was. He was a spatially intelligent person. He was picture smart. He would see things from a vantage point, a big vantage point, but he would also see the details. So if you take a look at all eight, and let me ask you guys, if I were to ask you to choose which is the one intelligence that you know for sure na ako yan, coach, ako yan. Can I ask you to type it out in your chat box? Jillian, Zar, Borge, everybody, Mana. If you were to look at the eight again, and let me flash it on the screen for you. I'll give you a few minutes, okay, just to look at it. If you were to choose just one that this is you, parang ako ito, coach, this is me, what would it be? For example, for me, number one for me would be linguistic or word smart. That's me finding the right words to express what you mean. That's number one for me. And also it reflects in my strength finder because that's my number two theme, communication. So I know that I'm really a linguist. I can even pick up dialect or even learn a language if I wanted. So what is it for you? Take a look at all eight. Take a look at all eight. Then for a minute, or maybe you want to take a picture of this, and then I want you now to type on your comment box. What is your number one intelligence, or what is the number one smart for you? Okay. So I will stop sharing. Take a photo of this. I'll stop sharing, and I'll give you time to answer. Okay.
Ayan. Okay. Habang nag-iisip ng mga answers ang ating mga 22
Go ahead,
billion
King.
views.
Ikaw na mag-facilitate yung answers natin. At saka
Yes.
kayo rin, ha? Kayo rin. You rin. Also, King and Tristan. After you read
Siguro,
all of the answers, let's hear from you.
yeah. For me, isa siguro, top three parang ganyan. Isa is linguistic. Yung definition of linguistic is finding the right words to express what you mean. So ako, I love finding the right words when communicating to someone or to a group of people. So kumbaga parang na-excite ako alright, whenever I do that. But also, in interpersonal, sensing people's feelings and motives. I'm not sure kung high ako dito, but I think it's one of the things that is helping me also to talk to people, whether you're young or old, or kumbaga parang I can talk to anyone. Alright? And hindi ako nahihiya to talk to anyone. And I guess yung last, yung top 3 ang gagawin ko is body kinesthetic. Hindi, joke lang. So, hindi ako marunong sumayaw or anything. Na. Hindi rin siya musical intelligence, which is discerning sounds. Naturalist, hindi rin ako ano sa mga plants or whatever, no? Though I'm growing some plants now, uh, chili peppers, pero I think mahirap silang patayin talaga, no? Kaya they're still alive. Logical, mathematical, pwede rin to actually. Quantifying things, making hypotheses, and proving them. So I hope that it's while reading this, no, you're thinking about yours as well. But I think maybe yung third ko either itong logical or yung intra-personal, yung understanding yourself, what you feel and what you want. Yan. Ano yan, self-awareness. Because I believe that self-awareness is a key or key to success. Yeah. So, yan, ito na, meron na tayong mga kasagutan. Thank you so much for answering. Sabi ni Zar de Ramos, interpersonal. Yun. So, maybe you can post kung ano rin yung type of work mo, no? Baka, helpful ba yan, coach? So that we can assess, di ba? Yung, ano yung work mo, tapos if it's interpersonal, kung kunyari you're into marketing or into sales, di ba? Yung parang, oo nga, for sure, kailangan mo yan, di ba? Something that will help you. Si Grace din, yan, interpersonal. Tapos may heart pa siya sa mata, oh, yan. So, parang siguro pagkabasa ni Grace, siyang siya na yun. Alright. So, Ann Santillan. First is logical. Second is interpersonal. Okay? Logical. Ano kaya yung work ni Ann? Okay? Nasa ano ba yan? Accounting or engineering? Ano ba yung mga important talaga? Ito si Mana. Interpersonal. Okay? I can attest to that. People person talaga yan si Mana. Yan. Jillian, people smart, which is actually interpersonal as well. Actually, ang dami nating interpersonal dito. O, si Pam din. Pam Morelos, interpersonal. Okay, napaka-friendly din yan. Ni Pam, good in talking to people. Shirel as well, interpersonal. Okay, ito, sinabi ni Zar. Zar is from HR, okay? So, napakagandang quality ng pagiging interpersonal if you're from HR. I think if you're from HR, you really have to love people or love talking to them. Ano? Parang it would be a waste having that position and then you don't like people. Ito si Miggy naman. Miggy Quebec, shout out sa'yo, no? Good evening. Spatial and logical, mathematical. Ayun, okay. So, I agree. I agree rin dito sa sagot ni Miggy. Ano? So, visualizing the world in 3D. Yun ang spatial. Okay. Akala ko yung spatial, yung may tuldok sa, parang siopaw lang. Ano. Okay. Si
Pwede ka
Shirel
lang,
na...
sabi ko, pwede kita padalahan ng spatial.
Ayan,
Sabihan mo
sige.
lang ako.
Yun. PM is the P. Okay. So si Shirel is from sales, all right. So napaka-importante ng interpersonal skills in being in sales, no. Michelle naman Martinez, sabi ni linguistic and logical, all right. So pwede itong trainer, teacher, yan. So good in words and of course logical thinking as well. Okay, si Borge naman, Borlagdan, ayan, nagtag ng mga friends niya, okay, to join our stream. Again, at hindi lang ito yung ating episode in this series. If you are enjoying our series or our topic for today, which is emotional maturity, please do watch our other videos. We actually had this is the fourth episode of our series, no? And it's in balancing stress and being well. So first week was about discipline of the body to go the distance. Second week was about spiritual awakening and disciplines. Third is learning and knowledge, which was 2 weeks ago. So I hope that if you're enjoying this stream, you'll be able to catch our other videos as well. Alright? So, meron pa ba tayong mga sagot dyan? Ayun. So, si Jillian, licensed broker, sales, equals interpersonal. Ayun, napakaganda. And answer question, mathematical and logical. Okay, so if you have other answers and questions, you can still post it sa ating comment section. All right, so Coach,
All right, thank you very much. So, what does this all mean? So, and how does this apply to EQ or emotional maturity? So, if you take the two, if you take logical and linguistic, logical intelligence, or number smart and linguistic intelligence and word smart, that's what you call IQ. So, logical and linguistic equals IQ. Kaya yung mga matataas sa math and science, yung mga matataas sa what do you call this? High in reading, writing, yan. Yan yung mga kabilang sa mga pilot class or honor section or these are people who are part of the cream section or section 1 star section. If you were part of that, if you are part of those sections, can you please me, type me on your chat box? If you are part of the pilot class or the cream section or the star section or the science class, class A or class 1, please type it on your chat box. Say me, just say me. And there's nothing wrong with it. We just want to know if that is you. Okay, be proud of it. Of course, be proud of it. If that's you, come on, type it. Kayo ba Tristan at saka King, were you part of those classes?
ako Coach, this was like in one or whatever. We were classified in the shops that we want. So ako, I was part of the computer yung shop ko or yung technical section. And anong rank ko ba? Rank, mga ano ako, wala ako sa top 10, mga 11 din. Between 8 to 13 din. So, it was actually a hard section. Okay lang naman. So,
Okay.
uh,
How about you, Tristan? Were you part of that section? Pilot class or honor section?
Yes, coach. Part ako ng ng honor section. Yan. I take pride kapag nasasama ako sa ganun.
Okay, very good. And we have some with us on viewing with us who are of course Dwayne says not me. Hey hey hey. And we have others who are with us that are
wow.
were part of that section. Jillian, Mipo, wow, may ganun. Michelle was part of us, was part of the honor section. Um, top A section, sabi ni si Pam, yeah, Pam was part also. Mana was part of the honors class. And Jillian, sabi ni Jillian, Mipo, top A section, special class, cream of the crop. Wow, ha ha.
Wow.
Humble, humble also. Uh,
Okay. So go moving forward before we were interrupted by all the sections and the types of alphabets of Jillian. So if you combine the two, the IQ yan, di ba? So ito na ngayon. If you combine naman interpersonal and intrapersonal, okay, interpersonal, remember, is being the ability to relate well with others. That's interpersonal. Intrapersonal naman is yourself. You know your purpose, strengths, weaknesses. You volunteer for activities that you know you can contribute and add value because of your strength. Now, when you combine the two, yan naman yung tinatawag natin EQ. Yan, which is our topic today, EQ. So, what they found out was the school system has a bias for IQ. May bias yan. Kaya madalas yung honor section ang favored, quote unquote, favored. And the honor section or the cream section or the top section, section 1, these were the students who were always sent to quiz bees and to competition, inter-school competition, national competition, international competition. Basta pagdating sa kaalaman, boom, yan yung mga pinapadala. However, they also found out, educators found out that, number one, it did not help the students well. Why? Because they found out that when the students belong to those sections, number one, sila-sila magkakaklase all throughout. Kasi sila-sila na lang yung, they're always the ones who qualify for the grade. So they don't get to meet other people. They don't get to interact with other students, even within their batch, because sila-sila na lang parating magkakasama. Not only that, they also found out that even when they belong to those classes, guess what? It was still competition. Kasi it's not just being part of the pilot class or the honor section. I also have to compete with the person beside me, the student to my left and the student to my right. So for me, it was so stressful. I was not part, don't get me wrong, I was not part of the honors class. I was not like Jillian, who was part of the woohoo yung section sa mga ganon. I was not. I was part of the other sections. In Green Hills, where I graduated high school from, Nassau Green Hills, we had 10 sections. A and B were the honor sections. C to J were the hetero sections. That's what we were called. We were called the hetero section. In other words, we were all lumped into the general public, while the favored ones were always those in the A and B classes. And so, when you think about it, they also found out, educators also found out, that being part of the honor section, they found out when they started working, it didn't really matter a lot in life. When you apply for a job, they don't ask for your transcript when you were younger, in grade school, in high school. And if you belong to the honor section, it wasn't a sure pass that you would be taken for the job because IQ really didn't matter. In fact, the research shows that 85% of a person's success in business and in life is based on people skills. 85% of the success of any person, given his job, given his business, or in life, is the ability to develop relationships with people, to connect with people, to relate well with people at work or outside of work. 85%. Only 15% was attributed, the success, 15% of the success was attributed to professional skills. So it really doesn't matter how much you know. What matters most is who you know. And that's EQ. EQ, or emotional maturity, is the ability to be confident about yourself and say that this is me. These are my strengths, and I'm confident in that. I don't have to be like anyone else. I can operate based on who I am, and I can contribute and I can be of value to my organization, to my family, to my church, to my friends because of who I am. That's intrapersonal or self smart. And the ability also to work with others, like work with the team, work positively with the people that your organization, you're part of an organization, and to work well with that organization is what you call interpersonal skills. Those two are EQs. And you know what? When you talk about mental health and mental wellness, it's really that being the reason why, we found out the reason why there's a lot of depression is because of social media, because you see others based on how they look on social media, and you see yourself, and there's a tendency to compare yourself with someone on social media, or the life of someone else, or your friend in social media, and depression sets in. Why for them they are this way? Why can they do this? Why can they do that? I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm not as gifted as this person, I'm not as gifted as that person. True, you're not gifted as that person in that manner, but you're also remember that you're gifted in so many other ways. And there's the ability, there has to be that ability to accept what you're gifted in and know that you have been gifted by God to use that, know your purpose and know your strengths and how you can use that, those strengths to fulfill number one, God's purpose and to make an impact in other people's lives. So the ability to deal with that, and ability to accept ourselves for who we are, not for who we're not, becomes now integral when you talk about stress, when you talk about mental wellness and mental health. Number two, when you talk about emotional maturity, it's the ability now to relate to others, ability to connect with others, especially when we're going through a tough time. Try not to keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Try not to hold it in. Try not to just say, I can solve this on my own. But it's really more about having good, meaningful conversations with people, the ability to carry out conversation with a person. But you're telling me, RD, I'm an introvert. I'm not someone who will easily open up to others. Did you know? John Maxwell in his book Developing the Leader Within You, some sociologists did a research in his book, and the research shows this: the average introverted person, the person who finds strength in being alone, meditating, reading, just keeping to themselves. The average introverted person would have influenced 10,000 other people in his or her entire lifetime. So you can't, none of us can say that, we can't really deal with others, we can't talk to other people. Yes, you can. It's just a matter of whom. Who are we comfortable having conversations about what we're going through? And your ability to build a relationship with that person is what you call interpersonal. Everybody, I believe everybody has a bit of all eight. Everybody has a bit of all eight. It's just the ability. There are dominant ones, dominant smarts or dominant intelligences, and there are dormant intelligences, which are, you have to learn them. You have to learn them. But I believe everybody has a little bit of everything, all the intelligence in them. So when you talk about emotional maturity, it's really about being secure and being confident about who you are, knowing your purpose in God, number one, and knowing number two, knowing how we were created by God and what were the gifts, the talents, and the abilities that were deposited in us. That's intrapersonal. Be confident in that. Number two, when you talk about emotional maturity and emotional quotient, is the ability to relate with others, relate well with others. There are two types of relating with people. One is wide, meaning like me, I have who also as part of my top 10. So I can make friends with anyone. That's why the restaurant business is a good business for me because I can accommodate and I can work well with customers, even customers for the first time. I can just go up to their table, see how they're doing, have a conversation, a quick chat with them, and I'm connected. That's why. Then there's another type of relationship which goes deep, which means that you don't have as much or as many friends as other people, but you have those critical few who are always there with you. That's my wife. My wife is like that. She has the ability to build long lasting deep relationships with people. In fact, until today, she still goes out regularly with her friends, her best friends from college. They've even taken trips together. So she values those few but quality and deep relationships. So there are always two ways by which you can build relationships. Either way, it's good to develop them because that's what helps us when you talk about emotional maturity, number one. And when you talk about mental wellness and to help us overcome stress, because remember, these days are stressful. These we live in a day and a time where everything is very stressful. In fact, in Singapore, I'll tell you this: in Singapore, when you apply for a job, they don't just test you for IQ. They don't just test you for EQ. They test you also for AQ. AQ, as in alpha. AQ is adversity quotient. They test your response during times of adversity. They give you cases and they test what are you going to do. They test your response during times of adversity. This is that time. Our adversity quotient should be high, but at the same time, our EQ should be high as well. Because sometimes the IQ, we don't have all the answers to everything, all the problems that are besetting us today. Even as a coach, I have come to realize that I don't have all the answers, but I can relate with people and start asking the right questions to help me overcome my AQ, my adversity quotient. So that, in essence, is what emotional maturity is all about. It's taking what we know about ourselves and how we build our relationships with others from good to better, eventually to best. So I hope this helped you. I hope this helped everybody in this session with Practical Leadership Online. If you have any questions, we'll be willing to engage in a quick conversation with you just before we end the program. But I want to pass this on back to King and Tristan if they have any questions for me. And I hope it helped you guys.
Mhm. All right. So, thank you so much, Coach. Grabe, punong-puno na naman ang ating learning tank. Okay. So, napuno na naman natin. All right. And just amazing lang rin, ano, kasi before, it was really all about IQ. Okay. I remember when I was growing up, gusto ko talaga malaman ano ba yung IQ ko. Very competitive. Eh, ano? Gusto ko malaman ano ba yung numerical ano ng aking IQ. And later on, I've been to ano ba, ilang job interviews or job na hindi rin naman talaga sobrang pressure yung IQ or yung talino mo, no, in terms of just being book smart. But really, when you are asked or when people question you, it's more of yung EQ or response mo. Okay? And pag nag-kick in yung aking intrapersonal or interpersonal skills, dun ako nagkakaroon ng magandang response sa mga HR or kung sino man ang nag interview sa akin. All right? And amazing lang na it's about EQ and not IQ. And of course, yung bago ngayon, ano, bago, quote unquote, which is AQ, na adversity quotient. And I'm very curious kung paano to ginagawa, no, in Singapore, as you have said earlier, or if it's actually being done here. Meron tayong mga HR practitioners watching us. Maybe you can tell us about how you do it. Is it all about IQ, EQ, AQ? Is it a combination of it? And ilang percent matters? And this, I found this quote, and this is actually kung anong saan galing yung sinasabi ni Coach kanina. It's 85% of financial success. Hindi lang success, no? But financial success is due to skills in human engineering. Okay, so ano yung human engineering? It's personality and ability to communicate, negotiate, and lead. Okay, and 15% lang is due to technical knowledge, which actually technical knowledge is skills that you can actually learn. Okay, if you are really persistent in learning something, matututunan mo talaga. Okay, ang mas importante is yung interpersonal skills or the people skills, because as you progress also, no, Even if you are really good at something, you will get promoted when you have good interpersonal or EQ. Okay? Pag mataas ang EQ mo, doon ka mapopromote. Why? Because you know how to talk to people, handle a team. That's when you become a manager. That's when you get promoted and given bigger responsibilities. Okay? So of course, kailangan natin ng mga tao na high in IQ and really loaded with technical skills. Yun ang giftings nila. But there will come a point, especially in technical work as well, that people skills matter more. Okay? So IQ might get you to the door, pero sa promotion, I believe, mas importante talaga yung EQ because you don't see like a high ups, 'di ba? Yung talaga mataas na sa kunyari VP ka na or you're the president or na fixing technical stuff, okay? Na yung pinaka ginagawa ng mga um, skilled, 'di ba? Yung mga nasa engineers or things like that. Alright? So, yun yung nakuha ko doon, ano? That yes, IQ is important, but of course, balancing and being balancing stress, being well, I think napaka-importante talaga matutunan yung EQ. Alright? So, alright.
Add,
Sabi ni
I'll just
dito,
add this.
where do you
Uh,
dito
Let
na
me
a
just
few?
add this for for everybody. I remember famous quote of Richard Branson, who's the owner of Virgin Air. He said this: "Train people well so that they can leave you
Mm.
skills.
Yeah.
I train
Mm-mm.
people well so that they can leave you, and
Mm-mm.
treat them so well that they don't want to leave you. EQ.
Mm. Yun.
Treat people well
Yeah.
so that they can leave you. Coachable, yung pagkatinuroan mo, pwedeng i-recruit ng mga kalaban mo sa industriya. But you treat them well. Treat them
Mm.
so well that they don't want to leave you. Kasi, companies will do that. They'll pay tons of money for your talent, for your skill, for your knowledge.
Mm-mm.
But you're going to be a slave to that company. Yeah, they'll pay you well, but you're going to be a slave to that company. As compared to leaders who lead their companies with heart. They're there. They're there for their people. They're the ones who are willing to work with their people. They're the ones who are willing to say, "How can I help you? How can I support you? How can I be a part of your growth and your development?" That is something that money cannot buy, and that's all. I also challenge you this: when things open up, when we're now allowed to gather and have parties and reunions, kahit kayo, King, Tristan, I'll challenge you, attend your high school reunion. Once a year lang naman yan, di ba? Mag-attend kayo ng high school reunion nyo. Tignan ninyo kung sino yung mas successful. Mas successful. Makikita na magugulat ka. Kadalasan hindi, ito yung mga bugoy nung high school, yung parating natutulog sa klase, minsan wala sa klase. These are the ones who make it in life. Kasi sanay sa network ng tao eh. They know how to street smart ba? Yung they just know how to deal with people, work with people. And they're not winging it. It's just that they put a high value on EQ. So I just wanted to add that. No, it's for food for thought for everybody. So thanks. Let's read some more. Or Tristan, you might want to add. You might want to add something before we read some of our comments.
Sabi ko, Coach, parang ayaw ka nang matapos to. You trained us so well eh. I don't wanna leave
Yeah.
this coaching tonight.
Galing, galing. Swabe, swabe yan, swabe yan. Oh. Ayan,
I'm
galing.
learning so much. Thank you.
Mm-mm. Ayan. And I think
Anything that
with
can add
regards
value to our viewers and to you guys,
to,
I'll gladly do it. You know how.
ayan. With regards to EQ, Of course, it's in interpersonal, which is talking to people and relating with others. But actually, napaka-importante rin yung self-awareness natin, which is yung interpersonal. And uh, before you really unlock, no? Unlock your potential in managing others. It's so important to know yourself. Your self awareness uh, radar should be so high that you'll be able to know what you're feeling, aware that you're feeling that way, and you know how best to react. Okay, in those specific instances, right? And kasi yung how you react affects also the people around you. So you might treat other people well, but when you cannot handle your emotions personally, makikita ng mga tao yon, and then it will be really hard also to shift from managing yourself to managing them in their eyes. Kasi sa tingin nila, kung ano yung nakita nila, yun ka na. And it's so important. Interpersonal, yes, but intrapersonal, kailangan din. Alright, so let's focus on both. That's what makes EQ stronger. Alright, so yun yung nakuha ko naman doon. Ano. So let's check here. Alright, so ito, sabi ni
Tristan,
Denise,
read some of the comments. Tristan.
basa tayo ng comments natin.
Yan. That's sabi ni Jillian, that's true, Coach Ardy. Yan. When I graduated in college, nag-self-pity ako kasi I graduated cum laude, but some of my classmates were ahead of me. I disconnected to them. Buti na lang, God changed me.
Mm-hmm.
Yan. Thank you, Jillian, for being vulnerable. Michelle Martinez said, I'm really working on my EQ and AQ skills. It's kind of hard, but I need to. I learned it from you, Sir RD. Ayun. Miggy, great insight. Thank you, Sir RD. Train to leave, but treat well so they will choose to stay. Galing. Okay, again, kay Jillian, God develops the leader within me. Nax, humble eh. Hashtag humble eh. Yan. Ha, masaya. Nakakatuwa topic tonight. Thanks, Coach RD. And lastly, si Board, sabi niyan, how to handle stress if you have a boss who is dominant in nature? I guess it's a question. Results is always his love language.
Okay, so yeah, we all encountered those. That's what they call the horrible bosses. There was a movie about that. They were horrible bosses. But how do you handle stress? If you have a boss who's dominant in nature, um, it's kind of a tough question because you have no choice in the matter. He is your boss. He or she is your boss, and you have to report to this person. Um, there is a principle in boss management. If you can change your boss, change your boss. So if you can't change your boss, look for another boss, a boss that you can work
Reciprocal.
with, a boss that's better, because that adds to the already toxic environment that we live in, a stressful environment that we live in. And if you're getting more toxicity from that, and you have no choice because he or she's your boss. Every day you just drag yourself to work knowing that you're going to be under this again. Um, it's one thing because in relation to your second question, results is always his love language, or your additional comment, results is always his love language. It's one thing because to expect results. It's another to micromanage towards the results. I'm a results person. I am because I am a maximizer. I have competition. I'm an activator, and I'm futuristic. So being a maximizer, I want things done, and I want things done now. So I need results. But given that I'm also an activator, I need to achieve results through the help of other people. And I will let my team go. I'll let my team do the work. All I say is, this is what we need to achieve. This is the goal, that this is the results that I want. These are the results that I expect. And if it's achieved, then guess what? I will treat them. I'll treat them well. I'll treat them to lunch. I'll treat them well. I'll give them commendations, etc., etc. If the results are not met at the given time, and I know fully well that the team can achieve those results, then there's correction. There's reprimand. There is what happened. But I'm not one who will micromanage, because running a restaurant is really a tough job. And guess what? Servers, the people that serve you and me in restaurants, that's a thankless job. And often we don't acknowledge good service because we always expect that. So for me, knowing that that's already a toxic environment for many in my team, I don't want to add to that as a boss. I guess I'm just different. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just different as a leader. I'm just different as a boss. But if you have no choice in the matter, then pray, pray really hard. Pray. Well, if you believe in prayer, pray. Number one, that the stress will go away. Okay, that the stress will go away. Number two, that the stressor will have a change of heart. What's the stressor? That's the person giving you the stress. In this case, it's your boss. They handle stress, but dominant, ano yan, high D, dominant. So this test, DISC, dominant, influential, steady, and conscientious, that's a high D, type A personality, micromanager. Yeah. So how you handle it? Sometimes, at some point, I've had clients who like that also. I I kind of put them in their place. You know what I mean? These are the results that you want. Let me assure you that I will deliver these results. Just don't keep looking over my shoulder, because I cannot operate that way. But if you need the results at this point in time, I will deliver it to you. That's the way I will. Because I don't need the added stress to my already stressful work and work environment. And I'm talking about the now, that we're in the pandemic, that we're in quarantine, that we work from home, etc., etc. I just met with the client earlier, and the signs of the bosses are coming out. Na nagiging micromanager na si boss. Similar to your case, Borge. So I hope I was able to answer your question in some form or fashion. Uh, I hope I was able to answer it. Just let me know, chat me, or message me later on my Facebook page. Then we can converse some more. We can chat some more there. Okay, pasa pa tayo, Tristan. Ano pa yung mga nandyan?
Okay. Yan, sabi ni Weng, gusto mo si Weng, sabi lang niya, true coach. Okay, agree. So, nakakuha tayo na agree dito. Yan. So, Dwayne, sabi ni Dwayne, if your boss's parent were not able to change them, how much more can you change them? Yan. Pag ikaw si Holy Spirit, you can change them, I guess. Okay, yan.
Meron tayong EQ coach. Nandyan, si
Ayan,
Bernard. Oh, Coach B.
yan, Sir
EQ
Bernard,
coach yan.
si Coach
Yan ang
B.
dapat pala nating ginest, si Coach B.
Mhm.
Eh baka naman hindi tayo pagbigyan kasi napaka-busy na schedule ng mamang yan.
Oo nga,
Si Coach B
eh.
pa.
1 year ahead, dapat yata nakabook tayo.
Oo, grabe. Kahit ako, nakaibigan ko rin, hindi ako makaschedule. Sobra. As in, grabeng busy tao.
matetest yung EQ natin.
Matetest ang EQ natin. Yes. Ano ba sabi? Tristan, ano pa ang mga palibalita natin?
Yan.
What are other people
Yan.
saying?
Thank you for joining us, Coach B. Si Borge naman. Sabi niya, wow, thank you, Coach Ardy. That's hashtag wisdom. Yan. Mana. Sabi naman ni Mana, my takeaway, we don't have all the answer, IQ, but we can ask people, other people, EQ to overcome AQ, adversity. Okay. Jillian. Yan. Ha, best comment. Ay, ako pala. Pastor Tristan. Okay. Sabi ulit ni Coach B, nagbibilang ng butiki.
Hindi siya gano'n
Actually,
ka-busy. Nakakabilang pa siya ng butiki.
hmm,
Oh, God.
while you were
But you know what?
speaking kanina, Coach, may,
Go
may
ahead.
napakinggan lang akong podcast before for EQ. Sabi lang nung podcast speaker, if you wanna grow in your EQ and AQ, work for a hard boss. Yan. And then measure your response towards the response of your, of your boss, supervisor, or your uh, disgruntled, the co-employee. And if you see that your response is way better than them, then you would know that your EQ or AQ is growing. So yun, yun lang just to note while you were speaking kanina. Yes, Coach, balik sa'yo.
Thank you, Tristan. Galing, galing. Thank you so much. Oh, sabi ni Dwayne, I love the session. Do you do this regularly? Can we know the schedule? Yeah, we do this twice a month. We do this every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. That's at 8 p.m. Practical Leadership Online. And you can catch us on a lighter note every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:05 a.m. on Kapitay. So thanks for tuning in, Dwayne, Lee. Thank you so much for. I hope that you got a lot in terms of adding value to you as a person, as a value contributor to your business or to your organization. Thanks so much for watching. And ano pa sabi ni Coach B? By the way, you know Coach Bernard, he's one of the finest coaches that I know. On not just on EQ, not just on Strength Finder. He's a coach also for Strength Finder, but he's one of the finest coaches I know on marriage, on family life. Very good friend. We go way back college days pa namin in LaSalle, Taft. And he's someone who is a true friend. Whether good times or bad times, andyan yung taong yan, si Coach Bernard. And his wife, Ivy, who is also a coach for homeschool. Homeschool coach naman siya. So that couple, they're very dear to our hearts, my wife and I, and to our family. So Coach B, saludo sa'yo. We'll guest you one time. Not just one time, many times. Hopefully, you will allow us. Kasi alam ko yan si Coach B, ano yan eh, maaga natutulog yan eh. Kasi mga alas 6, alas 5, nagdi-dinner na yan eh. Mga alas 6, alas 7, medyo nakatalokbong na yan ang kumot. Sabi niya, there are lots of EQ videos in EQ Philippines at FB. Please like moi. Thanks so much, Coach Bernard. Okay. Ano pa? King, Miggy. Sabi niya si King sa'yo.
Pastor King, nakita ko to sa FB feed. Thanks for sharing. Naging productive gabi ko. Ayun. So, hope to see you, Miggy, every second and fourth Tuesday of the month here ng Tuesday nights. And of course, MWF meron tayo 8:05 a.m. Okay, so more of just hanging out, kape-kape, and discussing important things and entertaining things as well. All right, so must chill and hope to see you guys there. All our 23 million viewers, all right, that we have. Okay, and please continue to tag your friends so that they can watch this video. And of course, again, we this is actually the fourth installment of our series ngayong season 2 natin. And I hope that you'll be able to watch our first, second, and third episodes. They're up there sa website or sa YouTube natin. And of course, here at our Facebook page. Please do look for them and tag your friends, especially if you found it to be useful for you and you want to help your friends as well. Okay, so we believe here in practical leadership that leaders are lifelong learners. Okay, so paulit-ulit namin sinasabi yan because we actually believe in our hearts that it is true. That's why we're all here. And we believe na kaya rin kayo nandito, no? Because you believe that you need to learn, you need to hear this. And kaya rin kayo nagtatag, no? Because you know that it's very important, not just for yourself, but for your friends as well. Okay, so again, salamat sa inyo. Alright, shout out again. Michelle, thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Chef, for all the learnings. See you, Miggy. Okay. Uh, okay, sabi ng mga ito, great topic sa hindi ko nasimulan. It's okay. You can re-watch this or watch this naman because in our video section. Okay, so yan. So, actually, yung wife ko gustong makasama sa broadcast natin. Alright, so maybe next time. Ingit na ingit siya sa ating coaching. Okay? Oo, minsan yung mga comments niya, sinesend niya sa akin pag nanonood siya. Sinesend niya sa akin para basahin ko. Okay? Yan. Again, thank you
All
so
right.
much, Anna. Thank you so much, Dan. Uh, okay, so, Coach,
Yep. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for all your engagement. I love the session this evening. It was a time of I learned a lot just by your comments and answering your questions. Borge, thank you so much for asking those questions. Those are questions that really have to be asked, and not only that, they inspire us to think some more. But I hope that everybody was, all of you were able to get something out of this. Although short, we run out of time, but we will be back on the fourth Tuesday of week after next, Tuesday after next, here on Practical Leadership online. And don't forget to watch us, to catch us on a lighter note at Kapitayo every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8:05 a.m. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in, who stayed tuned, and who learned something from this session. And that's why we're here. Apart from being lifelong learners, we want to impart the learning to each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tristan?
Ayan, siguro yung key takeaway ko for tonight, I'd like to leave with everyone is that practice self-awareness, tulad ng sinabi ni Pastor King kanina, practice self-awareness, and then take feedback well. And I guess lastly, as a Christian, again, listen to God. So I think that's my takeaway for maturing in emotion. So that's it. See you next Tuesday. King?
all right. See you guys next Tuesday, next Tuesday. And of course, see you guys tomorrow at 8:05 a.m. para sa Kape Tayo. God bless you guys and see you guys. Bye-bye.